Hey guys, thanks to everyone who tuned in to the live stream on Saturday. The stream focused on mobile phones, and I talked about a lot of different phones on the market that I was thinking about buying. The reason I did the stream was because I had ordered the Asus Zenfone 6, the one with the rotating camera, and I'd ordered it from Amazon Germany, and I checked it in the morning and it said that it was being delivered by 8 PM on Saturday. And then an hour later it said like September 15th or something like that. So they changed it from a few hours to 3 months later. So yeah, a little bit annoying, but I wanted to buy a new phone and I looked at a lot of different phones on the live stream. And about 20 minutes after the live stream ended, I bought a phone. I bought the Samsung S10 Plus. So I bought it from a UK company called MusicMagpie. They focus on second-hand electronics and different things. And £567 for a second-hand phone. It is quite a lot of money, I'm not going to lie about it, but this phone normally retails, you know, 750, 800, 900 even in some places. It's an expensive phone and it ticks most of the boxes, you know, for what I'm looking for. It's 128 gigabytes, but there is a micro SD card slot, there is a headphone jack, that it can do 4K at the back and the front, and it's just a gorgeous phone. And I've got the black version. I actually would have preferred the white or, you know, a different colour, but, you know, that's the one that they had. They state that it is in pristine condition. I'm not sure, but that's what we're going to find out in this video. I'm going to just kind of do a quick unboxing. I've never used MusicMagpie before, which is why I want to do this on camera. I'm a little bit organised. I've got a Spigen case, the Turf Armour. I'll do a separate video about that though, and I'll talk about that case another day. So I just really want to show you what you get here, because I've never ordered from this company before. So you can see this is the box that you get. You're not going to get official accessories or things like that, but you do see here that you get a 12-month guarantee. Now they say that you get a plug and you get a USB cable. I will, you know, later on I want to test the cable for you guys. I want to see what the actual speed is like. Okay, thank you for your order. A little MusicMagpie cleaner, little cloth. We have got a SIM ejector tool, which maybe you can see that. And then we have the phone, and it's kind of all taped up. So, can I get this out? Right, maybe I have to take the whole box out. Yes, I do. Okay, I was lying. You don't get a plug, you get a cable. You get a cable, but you don't get an actual wall adapter. This looks generic. And by generic, I mean this looks bad. You know, most of the time when you get cables like this, they're cheap. They don't actually deliver the speeds that you can get with quick charge and things like that. So, yeah, a little bit annoying. But I'll test the speed of that anyway, just to be sure what you get. Okay, they've kind of wrapped it around like a mummy, just taped it all the way around. A little bit strange that they haven't did it a different way. I'm not going to use a screen protector on this, which might surprise some people considering how much I've scraped my old phone, but I find them a little bit annoying. But I am going to put it in a case, like I said. And this is the phone. Here it is. So the difference between this and the S10, the original, like the smaller S10, not much smaller, but it is smaller. The S10 Plus has a larger battery. It's about 4,000 milliamps rather than 3,400. It's also got an 8 megapixel depth sensor at the front. But to be honest, when you actually look at the photos and videos online, there isn't a huge difference. I was really going for this because of the better battery life. But you can see the three cameras on the back there. Now, it's not great for you to, you know, look at this phone via this camera. So what I'm going to do is bring over my overhead camera. We can switch it on, we can have a look at it, and I'll just give you my first impressions of it. I'll test this cable as well for the benefit of anyone who's buying from MusicMagpie, you know, to let you know what the cable is like as well. So let's jump over and do that now. So this is my Samsung S10 Plus. I'll move this stuff out the way just now. As you can see, I've got some apps there already. That's because I just put in my SIM card and my memory card from my other phone, and I'm getting 1,000 notifications. But you know, this whole process is actually really user friendly. Android have got this sussed out now. Years ago it was a pain transferring things between phones, but it's relatively simple now. there are a few things I'll need to check to make sure photos and things like that are transferred over, but yeah, the whole process is quite user friendly. Looking at the phone, first impressions are that, you know, it's a gorgeous phone, absolutely gorgeous. Not really practical as far as grip goes. You know, it's quite a slippy phone. That's, you know, my criticism of phones like this, and it's always the same. When a phone is really cool and it's really designed well, it's a bit of a fingerprint magnet here as well, but yeah, it's kind of slippy. But thankfully I do have a case, so that is a non-issue. You can see the 3 cameras and all that in the back. That is the power button, and I have put my fingerprint near it already, and the sensor is actually on the screen. I'm not sure how good that is as yet compared to a dedicated sensor, but you know, we'll see. We've got the 2 cameras on the front there. You've got the microphone. There's your SD card slot and your micro SD card slot. The volume up, volume down, the volume rocker, and this is the Bixby button, but you can assign that to a particular application. Down at the bottom, you've got the speaker, USB Type-C connection, and the headphone jack. Now, the only phone I've got just now is my Pocophone F1. Side by side, they're almost identical in size. Almost identical. You know, there really isn't much between these 2 phones. The main difference is that the Samsung here doesn't have the notch, and it doesn't have this bezel down the bottom. Well, it does have a bezel, but it's not as big, which is why, despite these phones being pretty much the same size, this has got a 6.18 inch screen, and this has got a 6.4 inch screen. This is 403 ppi, pixels per inch. This is 522. This is an IPS LCD screen. This is dynamic AMOLED. And, you know, there's people out there, I always see people saying that AMOLED screens are the best. Having used this for a year, I never had any problems with this, but maybe my opinion will change after using this. Well, I will say that when I was going through the installation process there, they do ask you to sign up to Samsung. I just used my Google account, and they also asked me which Samsung apps that I wanted to install. So I installed Samsung Pay because I want to try that, and installed some other things. I didn't install the browser. I didn't install email. But it's quite good that they do actually ask you that now. They do ask you whether you want to install Samsung apps. In the past, Samsung was just full of bloatware, but at the very least now they do give you some options to remove things. So that's going to be installing in the background now. But what I want to do is just quickly check the speed of the charging cable that MusicMagpie provides. So I've got my charger here. Hopefully you can see this. So this is my Huawei charger with a cable that's quite good. And now the speeds here, you know, it's something to take into account. It looks like I've got about 80% battery life here. I've got about 60 on this one. So that is perhaps why this one is only charging about 1.6 amps just now. It's not charging at 2.6 or anything like that because, well, trickle charging. When a battery is over 50%, it's kind of like a sliding scale where they don't charge it as quickly. And it's, you know, the benefit of that is that it preserves your battery life long term. So, you know, 0 to 50% charges quickly. After that, charges a little bit slower. With my Pocophone, I've got this on airplane mode, but this should probably go up to about 2.6, something like that, hopefully. Yeah, 2.65, 2.6. So, yeah, this has got less battery life right now. But anyway, we have some benchmarks. What we're really trying to test here is the cable that they provide. Is this as bad as I think it could be? We shall see. It's a little bit annoying they didn't just give you the original Samsung cable, but I suspect the person who traded this phone in didn't provide it, which is why they just sell these ones. So let's do it in reverse order. The one that got 2.6 amps before, the one that got 2.6 amps before, i.e. the Pocophone. What are we going to get now? 2.6, are we going to get 2.6? We're struggling to even get an amp now. 1.2, 2.5, 2.6. Well, that's actually good. That is good. So what that means is, well, this cable is usable. It will be able to charge at the full rate. That's a bonus. I didn't think I'd be able to use this cable. I thought it would be one of those generic ones where the battery wasn't, you know, going to charge at the full rate. But it does look like if you match this cable with, you know, a good charger, then it looks like you will get the same speed as you would with any other cable. So 1.6 amps, but that is again what I was getting before with the other cable. So kudos to MusicMagpie. And perhaps it was a little bit harsh on them with this free cable, but yeah, it looks like that cable is actually okay. So yeah, you know, this isn't a full review or anything like that. I just wanted to kind of show you the phone. Very thin, very light, very good looking device. And it's kind of crazy at this point where, you know, the plus version of a phone isn't really that big. This is the standard size of a phone now. And the reduction of the bezels, or the elimination of bezels, means that, yeah, it's pretty much all screen. A 6.4 inch screen. You know, 10 years ago that this phone would have been up to there because of the bezels, but it's amazing how far technology has came in that regard. Very pleased with the purchase. You know, one of the main reasons I bought this was the video recording and photo capabilities. That is something I'm going to have to explore in more detail. I'm going to have to play around with it, but stay tuned, because I will do a lot of photos and a lot of videos this weekend when I'm at the conference. But in my next video, what I want to do is start protecting this. I've went for the tough armor because my last case didn't really go over the bezels, so that's why this one is scraped. But yeah, this one looks quite good, so I'll check that out in the next video. But overall, this does look like an excellent phone. So the last clip that you saw there was recorded about an hour ago with my overhead camera. In that time, I have opened up my case, I've put that on, did an unboxing for it and all that, looked at it, and I've installed all the apps. And really what I've been doing over the last hour is really just to get a feel for the phone and, you know, what Samsung is like, what the Samsung S10 Plus is like. As far as MusicMagpie goes, they sold me a pristine phone, and I really can't argue with this. This is in fantastic condition. The screen is perfect, no scratches or anything like that, and you know, there's no scratches on the phone or the bezels or anything like that. So as far as condition goes, the phone is, yeah, it's in a fantastic condition. I've got absolutely no problem with that. One thing that is annoying me a little bit about MusicMagpie is that I bought this unlocked, and there's a couple of Vodafone apps on this. So clearly this was a locked Vodafone contract phone, which has now been unlocked, sold to MusicMagpie. Now that's a little bit annoying because these Vodafone apps, there's 2 or 3 of them, and I can force stop them, you know, so that they don't keep running. But before I stopped them, they were using up mobile data, they were using up battery life, and they're still there in my app drawer. And it's a little bit annoying because I can't remove them. And I also performed an update. There was an update for Samsung for the phone. I updated it. When the update went through, then these apps were then active again, and I had to go back in and force them to stop again. So that's a little bit annoying. That's what I don't like about system apps, and one of the reasons why I always try and buy unlocked phones. I don't have a huge problem with this per se. The annoying thing about this with MusicMagpie is the fact that they didn't detail it in the description. They didn't say this is a contract phone. It was locked to a network, but now it's not. They didn't state that. They just said unlocked, and unlocked to me generally means SIM-free. But yeah, I'm maybe nitpicking a little bit, but that's a little bit annoying because when I buy a SIM-free unlocked phone, I don't want to have system apps in there that can't be removed. And that is, you know, one of the things that I hate about phones in general. I think it's got better over the years, and earlier on I was saying that during the installation process when I was first setting up this phone, Samsung gave me the option of selecting which Samsung apps can be installed and which are not installed, and that's good because in the past Samsung were really bad for that. They would install apps that could not be removed, just like that Vodafone app, and it was very, very annoying. But now they do give you the option to remove the apps. So in that respect, I think Samsung have come on a lot since I last used them. Granted, it's been about 6 or 7 years since I've had a Samsung phone, when I had a Samsung Galaxy Note phone, and I couldn't remove all those apps, which meant that memory was higher, battery life was draining and all this. But yeah, they allow you to remove those apps now, so that's good. But Samsung does have a way to go. They've still got this kind of mentality where they kind of force things on you. By default, there's no marketing or ads or anything like that, but when I was messing around in the settings area, there's a lot of options that say show marketing notification, show marketing ads. So I don't know, maybe if you don't choose the right settings, or maybe some carriers actually display ads on the phone. Why they're there, I don't know. They do seem to be disabled, but why they're there in the first place, I don't know. They shouldn't be there. If you're spending like $1,000 on a Samsung S10 Plus new, when it came out, that's what it was costing, £900 and that kind of thing. It was a very expensive phone, and I'd be really pissed off if there was ads. The fact it's even there is a little bit annoying. A bigger problem, though, than the marketing ads is Bixby. Now, I thought this was a problem that was resolved. Essentially, Bixby is a button there. Now, I had this with the U11 where they had the squeeze option where you could squeeze it and then you can assign it to any app. But Bixby is like their version of Alexa and things like that. And now, if I double press it, you can see that I've loaded up the camera. That's good. But what they don't tell you, and this is something that I hadn't read into, I thought that would be replaced. I thought that I could assign any application to the button. And as you saw there, when I double pressed that, I did. But if I single press it, it still goes to Bixby. And that's a little bit annoying. Now, if you go in, there's an option here. You go into settings, then you go to Bixby key. And you press that, and it says single press to open Bixby, use double press to open something else, or you get double press to open Bixby, use single press for something else. So basically what that means is I can single press and open my camera, or I can double press and it opens up Bixby, or I can do it the opposite way. But I can't completely remove Bixby. There's no way for me to completely remove that. That is very annoying. Now, I'd like to keep the functionality there to open up the camera. I wouldn't want to disable Bixby altogether, because that would probably remove the option to use that button because it's integrated into the Bixby app. Ideally, I'd like to be able to disable Bixby, assign that button to a camera and just forget about Bixby. But the way they've set it up is that you have to change the settings through Bixby. So in order for me to actually change that to the camera app, I have to actually sign up and agree to Bixby, and then I've got the option to changing it. The whole way it's set up is kind of backwards. It's a little bit annoying, but again, this goes back to the way that Samsung handle things like this. So, a note to any phone company that's out there: if you add any hardware button to your phone, make sure it's easy to use it to change to any application that you want, and don't force us into opening up whatever your preferred application is, whatever your service is, be it Bixby or Alexa or whatever. Let us choose. We've bought your phone. Let us choose. It's very, very annoying. I hate things like that. But I think I'll maybe go with single press for camera, double press for Bixby, so that I don't use it anymore. The last thing really, and I'm still getting a feel for the UI. I'll talk about that more later. I'm trying to force myself to maybe use their default launcher over the next few days, but I'll probably change back to the Microsoft launcher or Nova launcher or something like that. I'll have a play around with it to see what I think about it. There's not really a lot to say about it, to be honest, but the main thing that I'm going to be focusing on over the next few days is the camera. That's really why I bought this phone. From a performance point of view, my older Poco phone, which was under £300 last year, this continues to be a fantastic phone. Battery life is still pretty good. Camera is still okay. But performance-wise, day-to-day use, this is still an amazing phone. The reason that I've opted for the Samsung S10 Plus is the camera. This can do 4K at the back. You can do 4K at the front. The photo and video samples I've saw of this are excellent, and I'm really looking forward to trying this weekend. This is why I wanted the phone. I'm going away for 3 or 4 days at a conference. I'm going to be taking lots of photos, lots of videos, and it gives me the perfect opportunity to test the phone. And normally, I need to actually go outside and spend, make a point of spending a day out testing a phone. But in this situation, I'm in a good position to actually do that. So I'm really looking forward to trying it out and see what it can do and what it can't do. This is no replacement for a dedicated camera, and that is something that we're just not there yet. We're not at that position yet where this can replace a camera. But I will say, I've got like 3 action cameras here. I've got about 3 or 4 different cameras about the room. I've got a ton of webcams and things like that. But the best camera that you have 90% of the time is the one that you have, and it's the one that's in your pocket, which is your phone, which is why I'm trying to get one that's got a better phone. Well, this is the way that I've justified it to myself. I had a quick look at the camera app though. It does look quite good, but what I did notice was that when you choose 4K, in fact, when you choose 1080p at 60 frames per second or 4K, any setting, you lose stabilization and effects and different things. So there will be issues like that. So I think that if you want stabilization and things like that, you're going to have to stick with 1080p at 30 frames per second. That won't be, that's not really a deal breaker for me, because I will be putting this on to a tripod most of the time when I'm just talking to the camera. But that's something to know, and this is a problem that you get with a lot of phones now. They might offer you 4K at, the higher resolution, or they might offer you 60 frames per second instead of 30 frames per second. But normally there is a sacrifice. Normally the penalty that you have to pay for using the higher setting is that you lose stabilization, or you lose some sort of color correction or something like that. But I'll test that more at the weekend. But I'll kind of close up this video now. I'm kind of rambling on a little bit. This phone has been out for a few months now, so I'm sure you guys have read reviews about this when it came out. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of videos about this. But if you don't have this yet, if you're thinking about buying this second hand, if you're thinking of buying this on a contract perhaps, and there's maybe something about this that you don't know, let me know if there's anything in particular that you want me to check. I'll do my best to address this in a future video if you've got any questions about this. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for the continued support. And I'll try and do a video about this next week where I talk more about this. I'm going to be doing some videos with this to test it out. But again, any questions, let me know. And I'll do my best to answer them. Until next time, guys, take care.